All right, let's do this. This is Aaron Casper from AgentMethods. Thank you all for joining me today to talk about 2022 and some things that you can do now to make this a great year. I want to just stop before I even get started and thank the team at AHCP for bringing us together. I appreciate that. I know some of you are here. Steve, I see you, and I imagine some others are with us as well. Thank you all. I really appreciate the connection. Now, we're going to talk about, for the next 40, 45 minutes, about some things that you can do now to invest for the coming year. Some actions you can put in place right now that will pay off through 2022. And this is important stuff. Some of it's, very immediate. Some of it's going to take a little longer, but it's all important stuff. It's all stuff that's going to help you grow your business. And so because of that, because we're all kind of coming together, committing this time, let's agree to focus. Let's agree to focus for this period on growing your business. Close distractions. If you have your phone out, if you have your email, take a second to kind of put those things down. You can get back to them later. They'll still be there. Maybe even grab a pen and paper if you want to make some notes, jot down thoughts or ideas or questions. That way we can really make this good use of our time and make the most of 2022. So I like to keep things interactive. I love to hear, your thoughts, your questions. I even see we have, some comments about the chicken. Let them know they turned at the wrong city in Oklahoma. Yes, that chicken, we call him Cluck Norris. He's the AgentMethods mascot. So I love to see the interaction. I love to hear from you during the presentation. I do get tunnel vision. I do get focused on the topic at hand. So please, any thoughts, any questions, anything on your mind, put them in chat. If I don't answer it right away, I promise you I'm not dodging the question. It's not personal. It's just, me with tunnel vision. And so at the end, we'll make sure we take some time to answer any questions that come through that we didn't touch on during the presentation. So with that, I don't want to give you my life story. You don't need to hear about me too much. All I want to say about this is a picture of me. That's what I look like. If we are ever in the same place, we're all remote right now, all across the country. If we're ever at a conference or, some kind of industry event or, at airport crossing paths, if you ever see me, please come say hi. Come say hi. Nothing would make me happier than to hear from you. I am a techie. I am an introvert. I'm a wallflower. And so I'll be kind of hiding in the back. And so take the initiative. As sales professionals, you're used to walking up to people and saying hi. So do that. I would love to see you face to face someday. That would be just the best outcome of this time that I could imagine. So our agenda today, we want to give you a clear plan. And, changing landscape. What's going on outside of your business that's affecting your business? We're not talking about, carrier trends or product trends. Those are things that, are very important to focus on. But we're not the place to get those. We're going to look at kind of the bigger picture about customer behavior, competitive landscape, these massive forces that are shaping the world we operate in and how they impact us every day and how we need to adapt this year to make sure that we're protecting our business and capturing opportunity. And so we'll talk about changing customers' needs, how our customers are evolving, how their expectations are evolving, and how what they want from you is evolving. We'll talk about the very rapidly evolving competitive landscape. And what I mean by that is not the other agents in the room. I mean some other much more threatening competition that's coming into play that you may or may not be tracking, but we need to make sure that we're tracking it very closely. We'll talk about some new tools and technologies available to you and some strategies and best practices that we see agents that are successful are putting in place. And so we'll talk about how you can leverage those learnings from others who are successful to apply that to your business. Before we get to all of that, though, I want to hear from you. So here's my question. What do you think when you think forward across the coming year? don't overthink this, but what's the biggest challenge? What's the thing that you think is going to be hardest this year? And jump into chat, type in what comes to mind, the first thing that pops into your mind when you think about the coming year, the challenge that comes forth. Okay, yeah, getting on the phones. I imagine that, it's getting out, connecting with customers and prospects, finding new leads. Absolutely. InsurTech, yeah, we'll talk about that for sure. Yeah, changing, carriers changing, of course. So there are a lot of things that we're juggling in this year. We went and talked with agents about their last year. So, so looking backward, we asked them how the year went. We did a survey, and what we learned is that 45% of agents saw their sales increase last year. These are independent agents. And so 45% of them said, last year, my sales grew. Now, the subtext of that is that 55% didn't see their sales increase. I don't know about you, but I know which group I want to be in. And I imagine anybody here who is actively growing their business, if you're not retired and kind of phasing out, you want to be on the increasing side of this equation. And so when we look at this simple question, did your sales increase last year? And we see the majority of agents did not see their sales increase. That tells me that, we've missed an opportunity. Maybe we've done something wrong, or we weren't prepared for these changes that happened in our world. And I think that last one really is it, that changes happened that we were not prepared for. I'm not talking about just the pandemic. Of course, that was a change we weren't prepared for, but there's more than that. So, we missed this opportunity. Going forward, I want to make sure that we're all in this sales increasing category. We know that the market's growing. There's more people in the country this year than there were last year. The population's growing. Certainly, if you sell to, senior market, we all hear about the booming market there. The number of people retiring every day or turning 65 every day, staggering growth in that market. And so the opportunity is there. These people are buying insurance somewhere. And so we all have a chance to see our sales grow. We all have the potential. We just have to make sure that we're ready, we're prepared, we have the tools, we have the infrastructure, the know-how to capture the opportunity so that our competition doesn't. And again, I don't mean each other, I mean something else. So kind of diving in a bit into what this opportunity is, what this change is. First off, of course, we know that the COVID-19 pandemic has brought remote work, has brought us all to go remote in basically everything. Huge shift in how we buy and sell and interact. This comes from Forrester Research. They saw that 60% of online adults started making transactions for the first time. So they started, a huge jump in making purchases. And we're not talking just about, buying on Amazon.com, but, buying from local restaurants, ordering online, buying from the grocery store online, just a huge shift in how consumers are making purchases. We also know that 44% of US consumers upgraded their in-home technologies. So almost half the country, brought in faster broadband, bought a new computer, bought a tablet or an iPad to gear up for this increase in online interaction, online transactions, so that the infrastructure jumped up significantly. We talk about the senior market, and I often hear agents tell us, well, I sell Medicare products, or I sell to the senior market, and they're not techie. They don't use email, they don't use the web, they're not online. And that was true 25 years ago, but somebody turning 65 today has been using computers and the internet for 20 or more years in their career, and they're very capable and savvy at technology. This comes from Google. Google has a research group called Think with Google, and they did a study looking at technology use, and they say that online seniors spend at least 6 hours a day online and own an average of 5 devices. You look at the stat, and my first reaction is, that is crazy. How can this be? And then I think about my father-in-law, who I love very much, and I think about the fact that the iPad is almost surgically attached to his hand. He sits there and whatever he's doing, he's also like co-browsing, looking things up, checking stuff out, looking at pictures of his grandkids. It's like it's always right there. He's just online all the time. It's like a second brain. And I'm sure you can picture some people like that as well. They have their phone or their tablet in their hand kind of all the time. So what do? These seniors that are online, again, this comes from Think with Google. They looked at what these behaviors are, and 91% are using technology to stay in touch with friends and family. And this could be social networking. This could be Zoom calls or emails, FaceTime calls. It could be looking at pictures of their grandkids online, those sorts of social interactions. 87% are organizing their finances. They're banking, they're paying bills, they are managing their retirement, they're logging in and doing things with their money. And then 73% are using technology to improve their health and wellness. So they're going online to learn about health and wellness, to schedule doctor's appointments, or maybe even telemedicine to go and see their doctor online. They are refilling prescriptions, ordering prescriptions online. And those two, finances and health and wellness, those are things that you don't want to screw up, right? You don't want to mess up your retirement savings. You don't want to mess up your banking or your prescriptions or your doctor's visit. Those are critical things to get right, maybe the most critical things. And so you don't do them unless you feel like you're pretty confident. You're not going to go log in and move your money around in your bank or your retirement if you don't feel like you're going to get it right. If you feel like there's a chance of it getting screwed up, if you don't trust it, you're not going to do it. And so this tells us that seniors are, not only are they sophisticated, they're pretty confident in their abilities. And when we think about what we do, insurance, it sits right in the middle of finance and health and wellness, right in the middle. And so they didn't say insurance on the screen, but you can be pretty sure that there's an overlap here where these seniors online are using technology to manage their insurance, to research, to learn, to interact with their insurance providers, their agents, their policies. So this is relevant stuff. There's also kind of more of the story, which we used to talk about, this idea of online versus bricks and mortar as these two separate things. And we have seen over the past year that the difference has disappeared. Customers don't see them as separate things. They see them as the same thing, and they weave their experiences between them. So they order their food online, but walk to the restaurant to pick it up curbside. They order their groceries, or they order their things at Target and they pull up to get them. Or they order on Amazon online and then they go return it at a local Amazon drop center. They see these experiences weaving back and forth. They go to the doctor's office and they go home and they log in to see the test results. Consumers don't think of these as separate things. They think of things as the same. And so we have to take that same mindset. We can't just say, well, web customers are different, or we use the web just for one thing. We have to be aware of the whole life cycle. Now, a little deeper, we've learned that 81% of consumer purchases today begin online. So 81% of people, before they go buy something, they go onto the web and start it there. It doesn't mean the transaction happens there, but it means that's the place they go to begin to learn about their options, to research prices, to research where they can go to buy. And then they may go and take that offline and communicate with somebody. And this trend actually is higher. You don't go online to buy light bulbs and toilet paper. You don't need to research that. You just go to the store and buy it. But things that are more complicated, that you do less, that are bigger decisions, you're actually more likely to go online first. And so, buying a car, people go online now and they learn about all the options and they walk to the dealer ready to buy. The same, you're probably seeing that in your business, where consumers they've gone, they've looked at different plans, they've looked at prices, and they're much more educated when they get to you than they were 25 years ago. So this process kind of weaves through. And we do see this in data where we ask, this is a preference in how to complete different insurance tasks. This is data from Level Research last fall. and they looked at just different points of interaction. And there's some things like filing a claim or changing coverage or getting assistance. They want a person to help. Those are things that are kind of high value, high risk, decision points where having specialized guidance is really important. Having somebody in person or on the phone to guide you. There's other things like getting quotes, just looking at prices, getting educated on offerings, just sort of servicing your account, making payments. They don't want to do that in person or on phone. There's a strong preference to doing that online or self-service. And so we see that same split in insurance that we see everywhere else, where the journey has become multi-channel. Customers move back and forth at different points. Now, all of that said, there is still a preference. And this is a question, a statement that people can agree with or disagree with, where, insurance provider apps are great, but at the end of the day, it is best to talk to a specialist. And the majority of people agree with that. When we go out in the world and we say, at the end of the day, do you prefer to have a specialist talk to you? Almost everybody says yes. And, that in a sense is our saving grace, because, as a real independent agent that connects with your customers, hopefully they see value in the relationship that you bring with them, and they see value in your guidance. But there is a catch to this. With all the new technology that customers are getting used to, expectations are changing. And so we're seeing that our customers, what they want from you is evolving. So, we know that providing good service, that phrase, providing good service or excellent service, I have never met an agent who doesn't want to do that. Providing good service is absolutely key. The definition of good service is changing. So we've always known that when you get a new lead, the faster you respond, the more likely you are to connect and make a sale. If you get back to them in 5 minutes, that's great. If it's 5 weeks, not a chance. We're seeing that happen in other things too, where customers are expecting fast responses in every step of the puzzle. In fact, when people are asking customers what they think good service is, 82% of them say a response within 10 minutes is good service. So when they have a question, a need, when they reach out, they want to hear back in 10 minutes. So you can think about this. If you have a customer that has a question from you, wants to look at changing their products, look at other options, if they go and they fill out a form on your website and they have to wait a day or two to get back to you, to them, that's not good service. They want to know that they're going to get an answer right away. And if they don't, they're going to go to Google and start poking around and looking other places to find somebody else who will get back to them in 10 minutes. So the definition of service is changing. Expectations are changing. Now, this is the competition part. And this is in red because red is the color of danger or alarm. We should be very aware of what's going on in the competitive landscape right now. And again, I'm not talking about other agents. Other agents, you may compete sometimes, but this is not what I mean. I'm talking about InsurTech. I'm talking about online brokers like Policy Genius or GoHealth. We all see the TV ads for the call centers. Joe Namath and I guess now William Shatner are in there. And their goal is to redirect your customers to them, to plant a seed of doubt in their head that there's something that they didn't get from you, or that there was a feature or something else that they're missing, and they should call this call center to explore that. They want to cut you out of the equation. And the really bad news is they have the tools to do this. So this is a graph showing investments in InsurTech by year. Except the crazy thing is that 2021, we only have through the third quarter. We don't have the full year data yet. So in 2021, as of the third quarter, $10.5 billion went into InsurTech investments. I would probably guess that by the end of the year, that's probably more like 12 or 13 billion. That's billion with a B. That's a crazy amount of money that's gone into these InsurTech companies. At the beginning, in 2014, 2015, most of that investment went into creating new products, kind of new underwriting models. We saw some kind of fun things like, if you have an app on your phone that tracks your mileage, you can get paid by mile car insurance, or there was a life insurance product that you could, scan a photo of yourself on your phone and it would use some sort of AI to do underwriting. Now that's cool. But all of this investment needs to see a return. And so more and more of it is going into sales and distribution. In 2021, this $10.5 billion, it's not going to fun little iPhones, apps that take pictures and can see how old your body is to create a life insurance quote. It's going into sales and distribution. It's going into advertising and marketing for these insurtech companies. It's going into building an experience that gets back to your customers within 10 minutes to give them what they need. And their goal is to intercept your customers, to find a way to divert them from you to these insurtech companies. This is absolutely a battle. This is absolutely something that is happening right now. As we speak, this is going on, and there is a lot of money that wants to make this happen, because when you get a $10.5 billion investment, you've got to show a pretty big return, or else you're in trouble. Let's prove them wrong, and let's prove them wrong. Let's show the insurtech investment that they made the wrong bet. They bet on the wrong horse, and this is the battle that we're fighting. There is something that we have that they don't, and what that is you. And with that is a preference from the consumer to work with you. You can't buy that. No investment's going to replace that. Customers prefer to have a specialist. At the end of the day, they want to know that you're there. They want to know that they have your guidance, your help. There's somebody who they trust, who understands their needs. You cannot recreate that. These local independent agents, you understand your clients, understand their needs. And so that's the asset. Now, the problem is that your customers still have to get to you. If customers are going online, if 81% of consumer purchases begin online, and you're not there to give them a great experience, as great as you provide in person, you're going to miss those customers. You're going to miss out before you even get a chance. They're going to go online. They're going to find InsurTech. InsurTech's going to make sure that they get them and you don't, and it's game over. So we have to do something. This is the call to action. This is what this year is about. This is what caused this opportunity issue last year, where more agents saw their sales go down than up. This is our opportunity now to put the things in place that we need to put in to make sure that 2022 is a year of growth, that we take that secret weapon, that great asset that you have, and we make sure that your customers find it. They get to you. All right. I don't mean to be all doom and gloom. There is an upside. There is a path forward. And that's really, that's the important part today. So these are 5 stops on, it's our roadmap to success. So, there's this journey. There are 5 places we want to make sure that we go and visit during the year to see success, to put ourselves in a position to beat this battle. Number 1, of course, is retention. You have worked so hard to get your customers, to build your business, to create the relationships that you have. And you want to make sure that you keep them. You want to make sure that your customers don't get cut off from you. That is the first and most important thing. Second is referrals. We love referrals. Everybody loves referrals. These are this is how your business snowballs. And so how do we go and stimulate that? Referrals, the way referrals work has changed. And so we have to adapt to continue to maximize referrals. Cross sales are not focused on enough. There's so much attention given to creating new leads, buying new leads, finding new leads, knocking on new doors. But cross sales are the fastest path to making a sale. And so how do we go and scale up our cross selling? Automation. So, these first 3 things, I'm going to give you a lot of work to do, a lot of things you need to have in place. But we don't want to have to work harder, work weekends and nights and kind of make ourselves more stressed out. So instead, if we're going to scale our reach and scale our business, the only way to do this effectively is through automation. And then finally, modernization. How do we change the nature of our business so that we leverage the things that we do best and add on to it to really make ourselves, the business of the future. So I'll go through all of these in a little more detail. So step one is retaining your clients. And we know that our clients are getting bombarded by call centers and advertisements, online ads. There's a lot of time between renewals. If you sell somebody a product, then you have a whole year where, the competition is going to be knocking at their door. If you sell, Medicare Advantage products during AEP, we're now in OEP. And how do you make sure that there isn't this seed of doubt planted in your new client that you've worked so hard to get mind that has them going to talk to somebody else? So your retention plan, first one is to build trust, to continually build trust, to show value, to show, not just that they bought a product, but by buying a product from you, there's more value than if they did it somewhere else. And then staying relevant. How do you go beyond just selling something to make sure that your customers see why your relationship is important to them? Of course, investing in your clients. So how do you show them that by working with you, they are better, they have learned more, they're more informed? How do you show them that the relationship that they've gotten from you has value beyond just a purchase? Of course, you have to make sure they hear from you. And if you go a year between talking to a customer, having them hear from you, that leaves you wide open. So make sure they hear from you in a positive, engaging, informative way every month. They have to see your name, hear your voice, hear from you, so that they are constantly getting that reinforcement about the value you provide. You need to go where they are. If they are online, if they're spending 6 hours a day online, you need to make sure you're there. You can't be offline and hoping that they're going to find you if they're online. So you have to go where they are. And you have to up your game for self-service. If there are things they want to do without talking to you, give them a path to do those things. So, and we saw before, we're seeing quotes, learning about product offerings, those sorts of things. You have to make sure that they have a channel through you to go and do those self-service things. So the tools to make this happen: your website, and I'm not talking about a bare bones or homemade website or something that you did over the weekend. I mean a website that's as good as the InsurTech websites. Social media, no matter how you feel about social media, your customers are using it, and so you need to make sure that you're there. If they're there, you're part of the discussion. A monthly email newsletter, I'll talk about that a lot because a monthly email newsletter is such a powerful tool to make sure that you're showing up, you're relevant, your customers are seeing your name, your brand, your contact information every single month forever. Non-sales content, so not just pushing out reasons people should come buy something, but content about the kinds of things that your customers are gonna see value in. And then proactive outreach, to get to them before they have an issue, before they have a question, before there's a need, before there's an enrollment period. Start to reach out, educate them, show them the path back through you so that somebody else doesn't get through and do that. All right, step 2 is referrals. And referrals, I talked before, they have changed. There's no more stacks of business cards. You don't give a client 10 business cards and say, hey, pass these out to your friends. They're just going to throw them away. Referrals, the way referrals get passed now is digitally. They get passed via social media. They get passed via text messages. They might text and say, hey, what was that insurance agent that you bought from that you liked? Or if they're talking on the phone, they'll say, I'll talk to this agent. They're going to expect the referee is going to just go to Google and type in your name and find you. If it's a really good friend, or if it's a really close family member, they might go and do the search for them and email the link to you. But the referral is going to get passed digitally. It's going to get passed digitally. And so if you're lost in the noise, if you've forgotten, or if you can't be found, you are missing out on referrals. So your referral plan for 2022 is to collect online reviews. So using Facebook, they have a review platform. Using Google My Business, they have a review platform to get reviews. So when people go and search for your name, they're not just going to find you, but they're going to find testimonials, endorsements, positive reinforcement about the service you can provide. Online reviews, in a sense, are even referrals of their own right. You want to make sure that your contact info is in your client's inbox. So, simple thing is go look at your email. In your signature, do you have your phone number, your email address, and your website? And if not, go and add that. That's a quick win you can do today. But you need to make sure that in your inbox, your contact info is super handy. Again, the newsletter, sending out relevant, useful monthly newsletter to all of your clients so that they're constantly being reinforced that you're helping them, you're there, staying top of mind so that when somebody asks about their agent, they remember exactly who you are and they have that newsletter just from a few days ago they can forward on. Of course, ask for referrals. Do this occasionally, do it gently, do it politely, do it via email in a system, ask for those referrals, and then make sure you can be found. Go to Google, type in your name. What do you see? Do you find your phone number, your website? Do you find a way to contact you? Or is it not there? Or is it buried? Is it your LinkedIn profile that kind of just keeps people on LinkedIn? Make sure you can be found. All right, referral tools, your Google business page, your Facebook business page, build those out, get reviews there. Your website, again, a great website. Even if you are an agency and you sell under an agency brand, make sure you have a bio about yourself. Make sure you have a page about you that has your background, your picture, your information, because people know you and they're going to go search for you. And so by having a bio that talks about you and why you sell insurance and your background and what you do besides work, that gives Google food to know how to index the site to know it's about you. And so make sure you have a great bio on your website about you. That monthly newsletter will keep you in their inbox with your contact info. Daily social media updates, every business day, make sure you're posting out to social media so that people are constantly seeing you, your contact, your name, again, in a positive way to keep top of mind. And then finally, referral email campaigns, having pre-written, ready to send campaigns, asking for referrals in a good, positive, polite way. Of course, people do what you ask them to do, and so ask them to send you referrals. All right, step 3 is cross sales. And if there is a fast win today, this is it. There's so much energy spent, so much money spent on creating new prospects, and new prospects are really, really hard to bring in. When you get a new lead from somebody who doesn't know you, has never bought from you before, the chance of selling, of making the sale, is somewhere between 5 and 20%. So you can think about that. It's going to take you between 5 and 20 sales calls to actually make a sale with new leads. And you know this, if you're buying leads or getting leads, you have to keep going to the bat to see success. The chance of selling to an existing customer, somebody who's bought before and comes back with a question about an additional product, is 60 to 70%. That's like 12 times higher. And so would you rather have a meeting with an existing customer to talk about a product or a new prospect? The existing customer is going to be the faster path to sale. But we're putting all of our energy into new customers. And so we need to talk about cross-marketing tools to go and help find these opportunities in your customer base. So let's talk about that. Your cross-selling plan. First one is email campaigns. I love email. Email is such a great tool. It's used wrong too much. People think about it as like, I got a list, I'm going to go spam them. You don't want to do that. You want to email the people who know you, trust you, will open your email, see value in your email, and you want to educate them about the things they might need. That's good service, and it will create opportunities. You want to have clear calls to action. So, make sure that your messaging is very focused. If you talk about a product, give them a very clear next step, how to take action, drive it to a landing page that is all about taking that action, online scheduling. I'm very bullish on online scheduling because it solves the problem that quote forms don't solve. Or online quoting. If you're with AHCP, you should have access to Quote It. Quote It is a great way to give people this immediate result, to be able to actually go and see quotes, see rates, pique their interest, and then you can go and engage with them. And then you want to think long-term. So this cross-sale, it's not just one email. You need to plan. You need to think about 3 months at a time. What's your monthly cadence? How do you go and create a sustainable system to go and do this cross-selling? It's not just a one-time effort. This is a year-long effort. Okay. Cross-selling tools. So email campaigns, I talked about those. Landing pages. Landing pages are pages on your website that are all about the one thing you want people to do. So the navigation goes away, all the extra content goes away. And if it's learn about dental insurance, it's simply about dental insurance and a way to take action. Online scheduling lets people go and book appointments on your calendar. And so having scheduling in your website, having scheduling in your campaigns, lets people actually go and say, okay, I have a time reserved with my agent to talk about this. That stops them from going to Google and looking somewhere else. If they know that they're booked with you, problem is solved as far as they're concerned. And so online scheduling is a great way to make people feel like you're on the case, to give them that instant response without having to go and manage the back and forth. And then educational content in your website, so they can go and they can really dive in, learn more, and become very informed about the things that you're talking to them about. All right, so automation. So if we're going to do all this stuff, if we are going to be cross-marketing emails and running a better website and scheduling and newsletters, this is a lot of work. And you're probably thinking, okay, thanks, Aaron. You said this is stuff we have to do, and now you've just given me a big to-do list. The only way to make all this work effectively is to put in automation, to automate this stuff. So it's not just a one-time thing, but it's a program you can manage, to automate this stuff so that it doesn't add work to your day, and automate this stuff so that you're able to focus on the area where you add the most value, which is making sales, talking to your customers and prospects, and do this without getting spread too thin. In fact, I see a question that came in about newsletters, and they say, what about quarterly? Because monthly is it's difficult to keep up a monthly newsletter. And it's absolutely true. If you're going and writing a newsletter and putting it together and loading it in, you got your constant contact account, you're setting it up, that is a lot of work. It's going to take you probably days of work per newsletter. That's not a good way to use your time. So your automation plan is, first off, look at your activities and don't do anything. Try not to do anything that isn't your core expertise. If it's something that's not talking to customers, not making sales, it's probably not your core expertise. Maybe you can do it. Maybe you can go and write an email, put a newsletter together. Maybe you can go and spend, several weekends and build your own website. Maybe you can do those things, but are those the best value of your time? Are you an expert at those things? Is that really helping you, or is it distracting you from your core activity? So then bring in partners. So for those things that aren't your core, there are others who are specialists in those things. And so go look for partners, technology, who can do these things for you. So you can outsource the work. It's going to be less time. It's often actually going to be less expensive because they do it all day long every day. And they're probably going to be better at it because it is their focus. You want to think about not just doing things once. So it's not how can I get one newsletter out? How can I get one email campaign out? You want to focus on building a consistent process. How do we do a newsletter every month forever? How do we get email campaigns out every other week forever? How do we keep our website updated, every quarter so that we know that it always has, accurate information on it? What's the process? So focus on the process. All right. So your tools, the first is, insurance website platform. You platform that will do all the things to run your website. Sure, there are generic platforms you can go and build it yourself. There's lots of ways to do that, but that requires you to go and figure it out. And you have to think about all the things that make an insurance website different, that make an insurance website work. And so work with a platform that's going to take care of that for you. Social media. I talked about posting to social media every business day. And it's easy to start to do 1 or 2 posts, and it's really easy to lose focus. And so looking for a way to do managed social media, to have somebody go in and find content to post it for you so that you're always there. You're always showing up in people's feeds. When they go to Facebook, when they go to LinkedIn, they're going to see good content from you. You're part of the conversation. You're adding value. Online scheduling. There's so much back and forth with appointment setting. You call people, leave a message, they call you, leave a message, or you email back and forth. How about Tuesday? Oh, I can't do Tuesday. How about Wednesday? Oh, Wednesday's no good. Actually, Tuesday does work. All that stuff is a big waste of time. It's bad customer service to have to go back and forth. Customers prefer online scheduling. And so, make sure you're using it. It's a simple thing to put in place. And then along with that is automated appointment setting. So following up with new leads, following up with website leads, during enrollment periods, during AEP, during healthcare enrollment, having automated systems to go and schedule your customers so that you don't have to chase them around. They just go and get information, set up a time, and they're done. And then automated platforms for monthly newsletters. And so, we'll talk about systems you can put in place that will take that off of your plate. All right, the last thing is modernizing. It says Medicare, but really modernizing your insurance sales. No matter what you sell, you have to modernize it. And this begins, before we can talk about, your plan or your tools, modernization begins with a change in your mindset, a change in how you think of your business, how you think of your customers, and how you think of yourself. And I hear this all the time. I talk to lots of agents, and I hear things like, yeah, my customers don't use email. Or I sold this in your market and they don't have email. That's not true. That is not true. They have email. They just aren't giving it to you. They use email because they log into Facebook and everything else that requires an email. Their online bank requires an email. Their retirement plan requires an email. They have an email address and they use it. You have to just reach out to them and give them a reason to give it to you. Another one I hear is, I'm a salesperson. I'm not a technology person. And that is true. That may be true. Technology may not be your specialty, but the way that you interact with your customers now is through technology. And so part of being a salesperson, part of being a people person is using technology effectively to reach them. Another one is I'm referral only. We talked about how if you're not being found online, you are missing out on referrals. So if you're referral only, you have to make sure people can find you online effectively. Or another one is I've gotten this far, I've been in business for 30 years. I've never had a website. I've done great without it. But the world's changed. And so modernization begins with changing your mindset. That's the first thing. And then from there, then we can look at tools. So launching the best website you can and driving everyone to it. Everyone. This is not just for prospects. This is for customers. This is for people you're currently selling to. After you have a conversation with somebody, follow up with a link to your website. Hey, here's more information about that plan I was talking about. Or during an online meeting, go to my website, click on join meeting. Use your website as an interaction touch point in all of your customer communication and interactions. Leverage solutions built for insurance agents. Of course, there's options out there for everything. There's email platforms, there's CRM, there's websites. People have done the work. They've figured out what insurance agents need. And so go and find those partners, those solutions. Look for people, look for technology, look for products that are built around you and your needs, not dog walkers or cake bakers, wedding planners. Let them do their thing and make sure you're focusing on what is special and required for insurance sales. And with that, of course, is industry knowledge. So, bringing in a partner that understands, compliance, Medicare compliance, understands the Affordable Care Act, understands insurance. So you're not wasting time teaching them, or worse, they're not putting you at risk. Certainly I have seen too often people go hire somebody to write some email or website copy for them that doesn't know anything about insurance. And they start saying, I'm a Medicare expert, contact your Medicare expert. And we know that Medicare compliance does not let you call yourself an expert. We know that because we work in the industry. But if you're a cake baker, you can say, I'm a cake baking expert. That's okay. But it's not okay in our industry. So having a partner that understands those little things is actually super important. And we know that. Okay, so modernization. This is your plan. Of course, the modernization tools. This is what AgentMethods is all about. This is what we've spent the last 13 years building. Is that platform that brings you online, that gives you all of these pieces, that automates it all, so that your business is modern, you are ready to compete, your customers find you online, and they find as good of an experience online as they do when they talk to you in person. And these numbers, I love these numbers because this is what justifies our existence. These are the results that our customers see when they use our platform. When independent agents use AgentMethods, they spend almost half as much time marketing. So 47% less time marketing each month. So we give them all of that time back to talk to more customers, or to have a little downtime, or to use however they please. But in that cutting marketing time in half, they see much better results. So 60% more referrals. Imagine your business. What would a 60% increase in referrals do to your business, to your sales this year? What would the impact be? 78% more customers buying multiple policies. So the cross marketing just explodes because we automate it. And then that question at the beginning, did you see your sales increase? They were 62% more likely to have had their sales increase in the past year. So agents on our platform are simply doing better than their peers. So I'll go through the modernization tools that we provide agents like you. The first, of course, is your website. And we have a platform that gives you everything you need to run your website. The sites are beautiful. They load fast. They're optimized for search. We've taken care of all the technical aspects of SEO. They integrate with online quoting. So if you have a quoted account, we integrate right in, so customers can come to your site and they can view plans, they can run quotes. We maintain a library of content of really all types of insurance that we keep updated. So all of the annual updates of product changes are all automatically added to our library. We have a landing page system. So marketing campaigns, if you're doing advertising, if you're running direct mail, you can create landing pages for those right on your website through our platform. There's a bunch of stuff that goes behind it. Websites are very complicated. To make them work well, there's a lot you need to worry about, a lot of technical stuff. I'm not going to go through all of this, but the important thing here is that we're worrying about this for you. We've spent 13 years taking care of all these details around an insurance agent's needs. So you don't have to think about what a sitemap XML file is, because we've already taken care of it. The next is cross-marketing, email campaigns. And email campaigns, to automate your cross-marketing, are the super fast way to go and generate sales opportunities. I talked to an agent recently who told me, he's been with us for a couple of years now, but he told me, the very first email he sent out, the first email was about annuities. And, within a week, he sold $250,000 in annuities off of one email. Another agent on our platform, Medicare focused agent, did a cross-marketing campaign for critical illness, and he had 197 contacts in his list. So, good customer list, but not huge. He sent that email out Tuesday morning and called me up Tuesday afternoon and told me he had 14 appointments scheduled to talk about critical illness with his customers. So one email, 14 sales opportunities with a 60 to 70% chance of making a sale each one. So the way our platform works is you choose from a library of pre-built campaigns. And so we have campaigns on all different types of insurance. We've got seasonal focus. We've got enrollment periods. We've got holiday campaigns. We've got referral campaigns. You choose from the campaigns. pick the one you want to send. We automatically create the landing page on your site. So if you're sending out a dental campaign, we create a dental quote landing page on your site so people can just click right through. And then you can schedule 3 months in advance. It takes about an hour a quarter. So 4 hours a year to go in to pick all of your emails, and then we take care of the rest. And so, we personalize the emails. We send, we track deliverables, we track unsubscribes. We send a weekly report. So every week you get a list of all the campaigns that have gone out, are scheduled to go out, and what the results were. And then, of course, you get notified of any leads real time. And because our platform is focused on insurance, we've developed campaigns that we know work. When we compare our results to others, so we look at email campaigns, insurance campaigns sent from AgentMethods versus insurance campaigns sent through MailChimp or Constant Contact, which are just generic email providers. We've seen that our campaigns get 3 times the clicks. So that means 3 times as many people respond to our campaigns as insurance campaigns sent through MailChimp and Constant Contact, which is really phenomenal. If you can triple your results, that's amazing in marketing. The next are referrals and retention. And this is that piece of the puzzle where you want to make sure that you're investing in your clients, you're staying in front of them, you're staying relevant. And the way that we do that is a couple things. The first is that on your website, we post to your blog every week. So your website gets new content added on a weekly basis. This is content that's not just about insurance. Sometimes it is, but we try to go 1 or 2 steps out and provide content that's engaging, educational, informative, fun, gives people something new to see, a reason to come back to your site. You can see some examples here, celebrity body parts insured, or, maintenance checklist for the year end, or how to host a successful virtual holiday party. Just some recent things we posted out. And all of this, of course, goes on your website, but it also gets shared out via your newsletter. It gets shared out to social media and drives your audience back to your site to go and read it. We do daily posts to LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're development partners with all 3 social networks. And so we're able to go in and post directly to their platform. This is, again, not salesy content. We post content that's useful, that your customers are going to be interested in, that's engaging, that adds to the conversation. So they're going to see you in their feed in a good, positive way. We also track the content. So we're able to post content, and then we're able to track engagement. And so we begin to learn, our system begins to monitor what types of content your audience responds best to. And so we use that data to start to shape what we send out. And we actually use that to personalize a monthly newsletter. So we do a monthly email newsletter that's been personalized from the previous month based on what your audience engages with in social media. And so this newsletter goes out totally hands-free. You don't have to lift a finger every month. It just gets sent out. Of course, if you want to customize it, you can go in and edit it. You can go and put a special message in. But if you don't want to worry about it, it just goes. Because they're targeted around what your audience engages in, because we've learned about your audience, the open rates are sky high. These are newsletters that they get read, they get opened, they get paid attention to, they don't just get deleted. And so that keeps you top of mind. That makes sure that if there's a referral opportunity, if somebody asks about an insurance product, that you get referred, because your customers are seeing from you, they're hearing from you every month, forever. So in our platform is something we call Scheduler. And Scheduler is magic. Scheduler is a personal assistant that reaches out to your prospects and customers and books appointments for you. It goes and it puts appointments on your calendar. It's the most amazing thing to see, because forget leads. Leads are work. Appointments are sales, and Scheduler goes and gets appointments for you. It's an online calendar to your website. It's automatic follow-up to web leads via email and text messaging. It automates enrollment periods. It captures a scope of appointment for Medicare sales. I'll show you a bit more about it. So you start by having a contact you want to meet with. And this could be a new lead you got through a marketing campaign or email marketing or your website, or it could be an enrollment period. Maybe it's Medicare AEP, and you have people that you need to go see to make sure they're on the right plan this year. And so you start with those people. We then go and invite them to meet with you. We send out a series of email and text messages, invite them to a meeting with you. And email is fantastic. SMS is a superpower. Text messaging has a 98% open rate and a 90-second response time. And you can think about that. People get text messages and they pick up their phone, they look at it, and they take action. And so when they get an email from their insurance agent or a text message from their insurance agent saying, hey, it's enrollment period, we need to make sure we meet to make sure you're on the right plan. Here's a link to my calendar, pick a time. People do it. And we saw agents going into AEP this year with over 400 appointments already on the calendar from scheduler. So day one, they were already set. Your clients, of course, then, follow that link. They go to a self-service calendar. It is integrated with your online calendar. So if you use Google or Microsoft Office or Apple's iCloud, we synchronize with that to get free busy time so that you don't get double booked. And they then show up on your phone and your desktop so you know who you're meeting with when. If it's a Medicare product, we capture an e-signed scope of appointment. That is how CMS intended for it to be done. They wanted those to be completed at the time of booking. We know they've relaxed that because it's just really hard to do, but we are able to do that because they go online, pick their time, and then go straight to that online scope. You can also embed it in your website. So you can see, people can go to your website and schedule appointments there, right on your calendar. This takes away that back and forth where they filled out a lead form, but they didn't hear back from you in 10 minutes. Because if they're booked in your calendar, they know that the need is addressed, the problem is solved, and they won't go looking elsewhere. The online scheduling is maybe your best protection against InsurTech sneaking in and getting your customers. So quick recap here. The 5 stops, retention. We talked about how hard we work to bring in these clients, and it's critical that we make sure that we keep them for the long term. Referrals, that's of course the dream, but referrals have changed, and so we have to make sure we're addressing the change. Cross sales are the fastest path to seeing new sales opportunities, but most agents aren't doing it enough. And so we talked about a plan to use our email system, email marketing, to automate cross sales. Automations to free you up, and then modernization through the AgentMethods platform to put all this in place to bring your business to the next level, take you online so that you are positioned to compete with InsurTech and to meet your customers' needs so that somebody else does not. And just again, a quick recap. So we talked about all these tools. Agents on our platform see 47% less time on marketing. So they cut their marketing time in half, and yet they see 60% more referrals, 78% more customers buying multiple policies, and we're 62% more likely to have had their sales go up this year. So that is where we all want to be. So I've talked about the platform, the AgentMethods platform. Because you are here through AHCP, we do have a partner program with them that gets you a discount on our platform. And so you can see just a little bit about it, half off setup and then a discount on your first 4 months. It's a great program, a nice savings. If you are interested in modernizing your business, if you are interested in leveraging a better insurance website, if you're interested in having your social media managed, if you are interested in automating your newsletters, your cross marketing, and being in that category that sees your sales grow this year, let's talk. There's no commitment here. We're going to just go and answer your questions, dive into your business, and see if this is going to help you. So go to agentmethods.com, click on that schedule a one-on-one demo. We practice what we preach. That will take you to an online calendar where you can book a time. Our team is really busy. There's a lot of demand right now. A lot of agents are tooling up because they're realizing that they have to make these changes. And so I recommend going right now, just jumping over to agentmethods.com and going and grabbing a time, because the times are getting harder to get in the next week or two. So go and reserve a time for you that locks in the discount and allows you to go and see more details, get all of your questions answered. And with that, I've been talking a lot. I tried to keep an eye on the chat, and I think I did okay. But if you have a question that did not get answered, or if you have a question that something you want to kind of dive into in more detail, go into chat and just feel free to type it in. I'll watch for just a minute, see if anything comes up. Often people ask about pricing, which is a great question. Our pricing is, we don't keep it secret. It's on our website. You can see there's a pricing button to go and view our pricing. It's hard to go over here because without knowing what you get, the pricing has no context. So you can go to our website, click on the pricing button, and go see our different plans. Remember, that's before your AHCP discount. And the best thing to do, of course, is to connect with us to really kind of go into detail so you can see it in action. So do go and schedule a time for that. Okay, Steve, I see your message there. I appreciate your comment. We work with many AHCP agents. They are in that group that's growing their sales right now, and we'd love to have the rest of you there as well. Steve, thank you for bringing us in today. Thank you to AHCP. It's really been a pleasure, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thanks and have a good day.